Hello everyone friends. It's time to review the final year of the 20th century. All about the main events of 2000 right now and today in this issue. Great movies and crazy music. Sports victories and scientific discoveries. Legendary video games. The crushing of the giants and the robbery of the century. Unusual records and people of the year. The new president of Russia, the war, and much more right now. Friends, be sure to look at the description, write any comment and watch the video to the end. This will greatly help the development of the channel. Major events from around the world. The Washington District Court deals a crushing blow to Bill Gates' empire. Microsoft has violated antitrust laws and needs to be split up. Such a strict verdict of Judge Thomas Jackson, due to the fact that the company sold its other products along with the operating system. That is, it imposed on customers what they did not need, taking advantage of the fact that there was simply no alternative to their operating system. In short, if you want Windows, take also a browser with antivirus. The largest company in the world, whose operating systems run on almost all computers on Earth, is starting to lose a lot of money. Its capitalization is decreasing by $80 billion and Bill Gates harbors a grudge, and newspapers are savoring the predatory appearance of a modest capitalist programmer with glasses, in all its glory. He wants to have not just a lot, he wants to have everything. Robbery of the century. 3 armed robbers, in the best traditions of crime films, commit a daring robbery at the Stockholm National Museum and steal works of great artists, a self-portrait of Rembrandt and paintings, Conversation with the Gardener, and Young Parisian, by Renoir. The intruders hide under cover of night, following the instructions of the textbook detectives Agatha Christie, on a boat waiting for them in a secluded backwater. The cops almost take the trail, but miss the villains. Later in this case, the number of those arrested reached 8 people, but the paintings were never found. Willy-nilly. Lines come to mind that real art requires risk and sacrifice, but all criminal risks are more than covered by the payment of black collectors. The largest ever winning a Las Vegas casino visitor on slot machines. Simple American waitress Cynthia J. was lucky in January 2000 in the form of $35 million. The owners of the casino were at a loss. How could this happen? Apparently, the year 2000 really brought failures not only in computers all over the world, but also in slot machines. Technologies are gradually conquering the planet and there is no point in resisting their pressure. Scientific thought does not subside for a minute. And the results are good news. The year 2000 is a clear example of the success and flourishing of technological innovations. The future of videotapes and CDs is predetermined. The first flash drives are presented to the world. Now all information can be carried in this small, very small oblong box. True, the volume is still small, only 8 megabytes, and they are not cheap, but this is just the beginning. The legendary Nokia 3310 was launched in September 2000. No one imagined that this model would have such a long life and worldwide fame. The rumor about its reliability and durability will be known from the very North Pole to the hot African deserts. The model turned out to be so successful that the sales volume of the device amounted to more than 126 million units for the entire time of its existence, and the strength and indestructibility of the phone became real internet memes. In the gaming industry, life was in full swing, if not like a huge gloomy cauldron in the game Diablo, then certainly like a stylish enamel saucepan from the game The Sims. These 2 computer stories have left their indelible mark on the hearts of players. The release of Diablo 2, gamers were waiting impatiently and now they fell for it. Battles with monsters, a mixture of game mechanics, plot secrets, search for objects and character leveling, and of course, again monsters, and more monsters. A real hit of all times and peoples, as evidenced by the fresh reissue of Diablo 2 Resurrected. By the way, about the kitchen. The kitchen in The Sims was a feast for the eyes, as was the bedroom. The most famous, calm and unhurried game since the decline of Tetris, openly presented players with a new genre of game simulator of life. The Sims was the girls' favorite game of taking the time to build a house, do housework, enjoy life and play forever. This wonderful game. The year 2000 in the world of cinema passed under the happy and smiling face of Tom Cruise. Action-adventure Mission Impossible 2 winner at the box office. More than 39 million viewers worldwide, $546 million at the box office of the tape. The plot of the story tells about the Russian scientist Vladimir Nekorovich, who created a cure for the influenza virus, which was tested on an artificially created virus, which turned out to be a dangerous biological weapon. It can fall into the hands of the bad guys, and then a pandemic will break out. Oh, these viruses. This story looks especially ominous today, in 2021, when the coronavirus epidemic is raging in the world. How useful the superhero of Tom Cruise would be for us now. What do you say, friends? And if there is a connection with the films and games of the 2000s in our time, write your thoughts in the comments. We will tell you about other cinema hits of the year in the next issue, and now we will turn to domestic films. There are also movie premieres in Russia, and they are also successful. Brother 2, the continuation of the adventures of the main character Danila Bagrov, the cult film masterpiece, Brother, is being released on wide screens. Director Alexei Balabanov, inspired by the success of the first film, immediately conceived a trilogy about the adventures of his beloved hero, first in Moscow, and then overseas, but in the process he decided to combine the stories. Brother 2 was conceived as a commercial project. It did not suffer from the budget limit, there was a lot of money, and the film turned out to be quite good. Many catchphrases were scattered into quotes. The music and atmosphere are at the same level, and the bad heroes are punished, but such a tremendous success, as in the first film, did not happen. At the box office, the tape's achievements were small, but copies of the new Russian action movie on cassettes were sold in unheard of circulation. Alexei Balabanov eventually closed the Brother project and, it seems to us, he did the right thing. What do you say, friends? The main events in Russia took place under the aura of last year. The year of tragedies, catastrophes and sad events did not want to leave just like that, and dragged 2000 along with it. Fighting in Chechnya, the militants are retreating on all fronts, suffering losses, but not surrendering. Bloody battles in Shali and Argan. The Taliban movement officially recognizes Chechnya as an independent state. Against this background, Russian troops in February stormed Grozny, and then the last bridgehead of resistance, the regional center Shatoy. A full-scale military operation is completed, but the tragedy of the 6th Company of the 76th Airborne Division is still ahead. In the battle for Hill 776, the death of Sergeyev Posad Oman, endless local battles and clashes, but people see the main thing. The federal government is beginning to establish constitutional order in the country. On this wave, Vladimir Putin unconditionally wins the presidential elections in Russia, and without delay, begins state reforms, divides the country into federal districts and appoints his extraordinary representatives, squeezes the oligarchs and begins the first stage of centralization, or the construction of the so-called vertical of power. The hope for a better future, which did not have time to gain a foothold in the hearts of people, after the inauguration of the president, is destroyed in a matter of days by new sorrowful news. The greatest tragedy in the history of the Russian submarine fleet takes place on August 12, 2000. The nuclear submarine Kursk, the flagship of the Russian Northern Fleet, is wrecked in the Barents Sea. All crew members are killed, 118 people. Pain and shock in people's hearts. In terms of the number of victims, this disaster is the largest in the post-war history of the country's navy. In the world of scientific discoveries, the year 2000 was a real breakthrough. And nature itself used as clue at researchers a unique natural phenomenon, not always pleasant, but giving answers to many questions scientists. A powerful magnetic storm hits the Earth. Solar activity is at its limit, but this is only the beginning. A unique cosmic phenomenon that occurs once every 20 years has given astrophysicists, astronomers and astrologers food for work for many years to come. Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter and the Sun itself lined up in one line on May 5, 2000, neatly opposite the Earth, thereby forming a real parade of planets, which delighted scientists from all over the world. Friends, your likes and comments also delight us. Thank you for not forgetting to support us. In fact, Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, known Yushanogo chemist, in the year arrived, opened a new chemical element with atomic number 116. which, without much imagination, only by ordinal in Latin was called Unning Eksiem, its discoverers, scientists from the Russian Joint Institute for Nuclear Research. The main sporting event of the year is the 27th Summer Olympic Games in Sydney, which was given the winged name of the Millennium Games. On the green continent, kangaroos, echidnas and koalas were sporty hot. For the first time, sports such as taekwondo, triathlon and trampoline debuted at the Games. The trampoline sport has become a happy sport for us. For the first time in history, Alexander Moskalenko and Irina Karaveva became the winners of the Olympics in trampoline jumping. Russian athletes performed confidently in artistic gymnastics. Alexei Nemov, Svetlana Korkina and Elena Zamolodchikova became champions. The Russian fencers did not disappoint, both the épée and foil fencers had victories. The Australian Olympic mascots, Platypus, Echidna and Kookaburra, were lucky for the Russian national team, which came second in the unofficial team competition, behind only the US team. The music industry was at its peak in 2000, and a lot of interesting things happened in the world of music and show business. Kiev, Ukraine. Year 2000. 4 people, on the 5th try, still created Viagra. No, the point is not in the preparation of the company, Pfizer, which improves potency in men, but in the female pop group, which also improved, at least, the mood of the male half of humanity. The success story is simple. Businessman and TV producer Dmitry Kostyuk proposed the idea, music producer Konstantin Melodze composed the song, and Elena Vinitskaya and Nadezhda Granovskaya performed it. Attempt number 5, the group's debut single, immediately became the leader in popularity, first in Ukraine, and then throughout the entire space of the former Soviet Union. The year was happy not only for the Viagra group, but also for the 2 soloists of the Russian group Tatu. Article about the app end of their song, I've Lost My Mind, to appear in the rotation as it became super popular. The hit hit right on target. Not only the soloists of the group in the video went crazy, but also the youth, from the song, from the girls who openly kiss each other. It was bold and scandalous. Now, with such an approach, the Tatu Group would defy nightly not shoot, the vigilant public would not allow it, but then it was a novelty. The crazy group of Russian show business was gaining momentum and preparing to conquer the world. But more on that in the next issues. And someone has already reaped the fruits of success, however, in Europe. Success of Russia at the 45th Eurovision Song Contest in Sweden. On May 13th, for the first time in the history of the competition, a singer from Tatarstan, 16-year-old Alsou Safina wins second place, leaving only a group of elderly rockers from Denmark ahead. The Russians are in pleasant and unexpected joy. The young daughter of the vice president of Lukoil sings the successful and memorable song, Solo, with excitement, does not always hit the notes, dances inconsistently. 2 adult men in the dance do not fit in with the image of the singer, their movements are rather negative. Heavy smoke and 3 backing vocalists help out. Many viewers do not expect anything good, but a miracle happens. Alsou almost wins the competition, and the Russian delegation is clearly not happy with the second place, is indignant and protests against the victory of the Danes, which together gives rise to rumors of evil tongues, that this girl paid. Rumors are denied by the Alsou team. All this is the intrigues of envious people and competitors. And you and I know that this cannot be, because all competitions are held honestly and impartially, especially the Eurovision Song Contest. Records of the year. There were many of them. The edition of the first issue of the popular magazine of motorists, Za Rulam, was devoted by the editors to summing up the results of the contest poll of readers, the best Russian car of the century. True love doesn't rust. Through the years, through the ages, Kopek, rider is racing. Spain. The streets of Valencia are lively. Representatives of the Guinness Book of Records are already in place. The largest towel in the world, weighing 67 kilograms and measuring 9.4 by 14.4 meters, is being unrolled in the central square. The world now knows where the main towel lovers live in Valencia. An outstanding scientist, physicist Zores Alferif became the Person of the Year in our country. In 2000, he, along with his American colleagues Jack Kilby and Herbert Kromer, was awarded the most prestigious Nobel Prize in Physics for his work with semiconductor structures. It is thanks to the discoveries of Zores Alferov that modern superfast computers exist. The real discovery of the year in the show business of Russia was a young singer, Nikolai Boskov, sweet-voiced blonde. He is the only one in the country. Parodists sang from the stage, "Isn't this real popularity?" The viewer only recognized you, and already on the stage they make parodies. The advertising campaign for Boskov himself and his debut album with the main song, "In Memory of Caruso," developed rapidly. The young performer decisively burst onto the Russian stage, making a real advertising expansion of his talent with the help of, at that time, his beloved father-in-law, entrepreneur Boris Spiegel. The time has come to take stock of the first part of the review of the main events of 2000, the last year of the outgoing century. There were many events. Unfortunately, the upheavals in Russia continued. In prosperous Europe and America, on the contrary, people enjoyed the sun in the sky, engaged in creativity and gradually got acquainted with the first new technologies that would soon turn our world upside down. In the second part of the review, you will find interesting events from the world of cinema, cultural and social life. Subscribe to the channel, leave your comments, like, and see you soon, friends.